Hello, everyone. I am in a theater. I'm trying to whisper because I don't want to be the loud girl in a theater, but I will be reviewing Thor. So, yeah. That's insane. I had no idea that was. People are walking in. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my first movie in theater review for Thor Ragnarok. Now, I love movies. Let's just say that first. I am a action superhero. I love those kind of movies, so I was very excited to go see Thor one day early because it comes out tomorrow, and I saw the movie earlier today. And as y'all saw from the little B-roll from before, I was trying to like record myself a little bit in the theater, but I'm also weirded out because I'm like, I don't want anyone thinking like she said I've had a hat on all day, and so my hair looks crazy as I'm trying to put up in a ponytail, but whatever. But yeah, I didn't want people like, she ain't here recording, so I didn't want to get put out. So I did only a little bit of recording. I was not going to record any of the movie to input in here because I think that's against the law. Well, no, I know that's against the law. So you guys will have to go see the movie for yourself. It was, let's get into the review. It was a really good movie. I mean, it was funny. It had action. It was touching. It was surprising. And it leaves you wanting more. And you, of course, at the end, you can't wait for the next movie. It was a little over 2 hours long. It didn't seem that long. All your favorite characters are back, plus a couple extra ones. And I only took a few notes because, of course, I was in the theater. And because I didn't want to be aggravating. So I kept pulling my phone out, but I had my screen on dark. So you couldn't even see that I had my phone out. It was like a little glimmer of light for me to see. So like I was typing, and luckily I know how to type in the dark basically, but I had a lot of typos too, so I had to come home and look through it. But it was a good movie. Even the previews were good. They showed the preview of this movie, Den of Thieves, which is going to be with 50 Cent is in it. O'Shea Jackson, who is Ice Cube's son, is in it. And who's the other person? The other person, I can't think. I should Google it. The other person who was in it, he's also an actor. Anyone who goes to see Thor, you will love the previews. So, yeah, I want to see Den of Thieves. You can also Google the movie to see what it is. Okay. I want to see Den of Thieves. I want to see Pacific Rim Uprising. Of course, Black Panther. So, great previews before the movie as well. I'm not a Star Wars person, so they did preview like a Star Wars movie. They also did like the Rogue One movie continuation. That's not my cup of tea, so I won't be reviewing those. But yeah, the previews were good too. So the movie itself was funny. It was very hilarious. And not funny like if you are a Thor enthusiast or if you are an Avenger enthusiast, you won't go and be like, why am I laughing? Like, why is this dumb to be funny? It was laugh out loud. I love it funny. Even the beginning where, if you don't want to know anything about the movie, do not watch my review. I won't say I'm spoiling stuff. This is a Thor review. So I hope you're not watching this thinking you won't get any spoilers. I'm going to talk about the movie. So this is just for your warning. If you've been watching so far and you're like, I don't want to hear any spoilers, just cut me off. Cut me off, go watch the movie, and then come back and watch my review to see it, what you say about it. Anywho, so yeah, the beginning of the movie, when even the part when Thor is locked up in the cage and he's talking to a skeleton, and I'm like, It was just funny. You know, even him talking with, and I can't remember the name of the bad guy he was talking to, the man who was basically, you know, hot lava with the whole crown thing. You know, even him talking to him, and every time the guy kept, the demon or whatever it was, kept talking, Thor, who was still wrapped up in chains, he kept spinning. So when he was spinning, his back would be to the dude. He'd be like, hold on 1 second. And he kept spinning like, I'm not even doing this. Is the chain is spinning myself. It was funny because he kept making the guy stop talking until he could finish spinning. It was just hilariously funny. So, you know, that whole scene is funny. You know, even him getting free, you know, him fighting off all of the other demon type of people, you know, that was funny. You know, when he beat them, he's like, okay, I can get back to Asgard, and he holds his hammer up to get up to back to Asgard, but the gatekeeper isn't paying any damn attention, so he's not getting up, because the gatekeeper guy is not Heimdall, it's another guy, I can't think of what his name is either, don't shoot me please, but he's entertaining chicks. And as he's entertaining chicks, like showing them these are my things, he shows, I got these 2 guns. You'll be find them on Earth in this place called Texas. And he's like, you know, I have these 2 guns. It was 2 like machine guns. I call them Destroy and Earth, because when I, you know, what's a destroyer? Wait, let me be sure, because I wrote it down. I can't remember. But yeah, anyway, he had 2 really, it was just funny. It was funny rhetoric with the movie. He, you know, eventually, you know, of course, gets up there and he's like, where is Heimdall? And he's like, oh, you know, the king kind of banished him. We're looking for him. He was kind of a traitor. And so, you know, he's been missing ever since. He's just gone. And Thor's like, okay. And he's like, wait, I have to announce you. But Thor, of course, flies off with his hammer. But it's just funny. And then we get to the scene where we see King Odin. Now, anyone who watched the last Thor know that Loki took on the persona of King Odin, and he became Odin, but it's really Loki. So when Thor gets there, it's a huge Loki statue in the palace, and he's like, well, that's different. Where did that come from? Because he's like, why is the statue of Loki here? A huge statue. And then, you know, when he gets to the kingdom, you see King Odin sitting back, legs kicked up, eating grapes as they're watching a play of when Loki supposedly died. And then they had, they had playing Loki. Why can't I think of anyone's name? Damn it. Ben Affleck's, and who was Ben Affleck's best friend? I have to Google this, and I'm so sorry that I am being so unprofessional. But I figured I would know his name because I know his name, and I can't remember his name, and it's going to drive me crazy. But anywho, I'm sorry, I'm not looking, but I'm looking up something. They, you know, we're doing this play, and he's, you know, on the ground, and I'm so mad that I can't think of his name. What's Ben Affleck's best friend's name? I know y'all like, she is just so stupid right now. Matt Damon. Damn it, Jay Lee. Yeah, Matt Damon. And I did it, but I hit it before I could look up the name. Matt Damon is playing an actor, playing Loki in Asgard, and they're acting out this scene how Thor was so upset that Loki died and Loki was the hero. And Thor was watching, and people is, you know, in Asgard like, oh, that is so sad, oh my god. And Thor looking around like, so we got a statue of Loki out front. You know, Dad is sitting here with his feet propped up, being fed grapes by people, and it's a play going on where Loki is the star of the play, basically. And then Odin gives his speech about how great of a son Loki was. So the play's over, and then, you know, Odin sees Thor. He's like, oh shit. Literally, oh shit, because he know the gig is up. So Thor is like, hey, yeah, so that's, you know, that's cool. The whole 9 realms are going crazy. You're sitting around here eating grapes and watching plays. He's like, no, I'm busy with board meetings and all this stuff. And I'm just doing things. And as he's doing that, Thor tossing his hammer back and forth. He just tossed his hammer around, and seen as Odin is ducking and dodging the hammer. And it was just funny. It was funny. It was very, very funny, because Thor knew it wasn't Odin at that point in time. So he was like, you know what? And he threw his hammer, and he put Odin in front of him. He was like, when the hammer comes back, it'll go through you and come to me. And he was like, don't do this. He's like, do you really want us to go through this? And then he was like, I submit. And then he comes out as Loki. And everyone's like, oh, because again, he's been acting as a king. Because as we see, this has been about 2 years time frame between the last movie and when we're coming back here. And it was just funny. It was funny. And he's like, where's Dad? He's like, I'll show you where I put him. And then they go to Earth, and he took him to like an old folks home. But the old folks home is being torn down, and Odin is missing. It was just funny. And then like Loki disappears into the ground, and I'm like, what happened? What the what? And then what happens? Doctor Strange is there. So Doctor Strange, of course, he had a little small part in here where he's one who took Loki, because Loki is wanted on Earth for all his crimes. So, Doctor Strange has Thor come there, and they're talking. He's like, look, your brother is wanted, here for all these crimes. He can't be here. And he's like, why are y'all here? We're just here looking for our father. And he's like, oh, so if I tell you where your father is, will you all leave? And he was like, yeah, of course. Like, oh, perfect. I'll tell you where he is. So this scene is even funny because Thor is knocking over stuff. Thor's hammer has turned into a umbrella. It was just funny. And where's Odin? Odin is like in Norway on a random cliff, just looking over, the world and everything. And, Loki, he's like, I need my brother. So he bring Loki back. And Loki falls to the ground. He's like, I've been falling for 30 minutes. It was funny. So, they get to where Odin is. And Odin's just looking over the horizon, looking at everything. And he's like, my sons, okay, you guys are here. He says how it took him a minute to get the spell that Loki put on him out of his mind. And he's just there. He's like, but we don't have that much time. We don't have time to go back home. And he was like, the goddess of death is coming. Ragnarok is coming. You guys have to be focused. And he's talking to them, and they're like, what? He sits them down. He says, the goddess of death is coming back. And she's my firstborn. She's actually my daughter, your sister. I'm like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Again, I have never read I have not read, the comics, any of that stuff. So anything that I see in the movies, it's the first time for me. So Odin's letting them know how, she was locked up a long time ago because she just got too strong. She was consumed with consuming Earth, and her power is amplified from Asgard, from that location. And so as long as Odin was alive, she was banished. But him being on Earth, he was dying. And because he's dying, once he's dead, she will be free. And he's like, you guys have to defeat her. She's going to consume the earth and everything. So as he's talking to them, and they're like, no, this is crazy. We have a sister. She's older. She's the oldest. And so she would technically be, have the right to the crown. And he's like, don't worry about that. Just look out. Look at the world. Think of this as home. And as they are all looking out, Odin just fades away. Like he turns into gold dust. And I'm like, Odin, no. So that part for me was touching. And as Odin dies, what happens? Here comes their sister, the damn goddess of death, her dark ass ways. And as we see, now here's Hela. Hela is her sister. She is the goddess of death. And, she comes out like, oh, Odin's dead. Hello, brothers. Because she, of course, knew of her brothers, even though they had no idea that she even existed. And she's like, okay, you guys can kneel before me. I'm the queen. I'm the firstborn. It's all about me, basically. And, she has these horns, and she's very powerful. And Thor's like, whatever, tosses his hammer at her. She catches it and crushes it like it's paper, which, of course, scares Loki. So he's like, bring us home, talking to Asgard. And he's like, no, Loki, because when he does that, it takes all three of them. And had he not done that, they maybe she wouldn't have got to Asgard. So as they're on the road to Asgard, She knocks Loki off course. She knocks Thor off course. So both of them go to separate places. They don't go to Asgard. And she lands there in Asgard. And they're like, who are you? She basically kills everyone else except for the one. I need to find out what his name is. Except the new person who guards the entrance to Asgard. And she's like, you look like a smart person. This is so unprofessional. I'm so sorry, y'all. And she's like, do you want a job? And so she doesn't kill him. Now I'm like, you're supposed to be the person who's guarding everything. You're supposed to be on the side of that. But he's really just a scary person. And I'm like, that sucks. So from there, it's like, well, where's Thor? Where did Thor go? So Thor ends up landing. To me, I'm like, is this a garbage place? It's like a garbage place. And so he's there. He ends up being saved and also kidnapped and taken hostage by Valkyrie, who, Valkyrie was played by Teresa Thompson. She was a drunken mess a little bit, but not even a mess. She was just drunk, and she still was able to get Thor there. So she takes Thor to the Grandmaster, who we had seen before. And this is where he goes. But every scene was funny. Every scene was funny. Even when Thor lands in this trash heap and he lands there, and then some scragglers come trying to say, are you food or are you, a friend or whatever? And he's like, I'm just passing through. And they're like, we're your food. So they try to capture him, where Valkyrie then flies in. She kills all of them and takes Thor to take him to the Grandmaster, because she will get paid for bringing him things, because she's a scavenger. So she brings things to this Grandmaster. And as we know, the Grandmaster also has Loki. Loki is there, but he's not a prisoner. He's in the Grandmaster's good graces. And Thor's like, Loki, what are you doing here? And Loki's trying to act like he doesn't know Thor. And I'm like, that's your brother. And then he's like, that's my brother. And Loki's like, half brother. And it's funny because it was a conversation between everyone. And then he's like, well, you're going to be my new champion. You're going to fight my champion. If you fight my champion, you're free to go. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll fight your champion. He doesn't know who the champion is, though. We come to find out who the champion is. It's Hulk. The Hulk is there. He has been the Hulk for the past 2 years. He is no longer David Bannon. And, even though Thor is happy to see Hulk, and Loki's like, oh shit, it's another person that we know. And he's still playing dumb to stay in the good graces of the Grandmaster. And Thor is like, David, it's okay. You can calm down. He's like, no, Banner, only Hulk. And they're fighting. It was a great fight scene. At first he didn't want to fight Hulk, but he figured out he had to, because it wasn't David Banner. It was just angry Hulk. And, at the end, it was a tie. Neither won, but they beat each other up very, very goodly and very, very badly at the same time. Valkyrie is also seeing all this, because as we find out, Valkyrie is actually an Asgardian as well. The Valkyrie were a people of them. They were all female, like warriors, basically. But she's like, all the other Valkyries are dead. I'm just here drinking away, and I don't care about anything else. But when she sees Thor's power, she's intrigued, because as the Hulk is beating Thor, just beating Thor and beating Thor, Thor has a memory of his father Odin, of his father saying, remember who you are or be strong or something. And then the Hulk embodies electricity. He embodies the lightning. He hits the Hulk with a huge lightning bolt. And before he could beat the Hulk, the Grandmaster, of course, stopped the whole thing. And, at that point, it's weird, because the Hulk and Thor are now both sharing a room. There's banter between the two of them. Hulk is saying how, he's going to stay there. He doesn't want to go back to Earth. People on Earth hate him. And Thor's like, we need to go. We need to be a team. We need to get out of here. And the Hulk is just not having it. Eventually, they leave. We know that happens. Even with Hela, we find out with Hela how Odin used to use her as a weapon before Thor and them were born. They conquered the 9 realms by taking it by blood, and it was total destruction. until Odin realized he wanted to be a nice king and he didn't want to rule everything. And Hela didn't like that, and that's why she was banished. So as she's at the kingdom, she sees all these walls that has everything so beautiful and everything was so peaceful and they were a peaceful people, and then she breaks the walls, and as she breaks the walls it reveals the old paintings, which shows Odin and Hela destroying people and taking things and just being different, and how they were praised for it, and that's what they used to do. And then she like breaks the floor and she takes the eternal fire and she brings back some dead people who has been under Asgard all this time. It was some warriors and a big ass dog, and I'm like, she really bringing back the army they used back in the day to take over. She's like, I don't want to settle for just the nine realms. I don't know why Odin wanted to settle for the nine realms. I want to take over everything. And that's all she wants. You know, she kills all the guards of Asgard because they want to fight against her. She kills them all. She makes the guy who was who was in charge of the gates and the swords her executioner to kill people. We then even see that someone takes the sword, you know, because the sword that opens the door to Asgard. If you don't have the sword, you can't leave or go at all. So someone sneaks in to get it. I said to myself, that ain't nobody but him, but Hendo. And we figure out it was, you know, he's a part of the resistance as well. Because again, when Loki was acting as Odin, people resisted against it because they thought Odin was different. So we see him dealt with one of those people. So, you know, we see how they cut Thor's hair. Yes, we see that part. We see how Hulk and Thor fight. Yes, we see that part. We see when Hendo is being a part of the resistance and he has the sword, and Hela realizes someone has the sword. She's like, I need you to find who is part of this resistance and bring them to me. You know, find them all. And at the same time, with Thor being on this different planet and he's trying to get back home, he kind of says to Heimdall mentally, I know you can see me. Show me what I need to see. And they have this spiritual, mutual connection thing where they're able to talk to each other. And Heimdall is showing Thor she's taking over. She wants to kill everything. You know, I'm trying to get the people away from that. We need you to come back. And, you know, he's like, you are in a realm now that has many exits. Just use one of them. It doesn't matter which one. Just get out of there. So we also see how, what else? I did not want this to be that long. What else? And again, as you see the movie, it's hella funny. Like, you're going to be laughing in between every great scene. You know, the fight scenes are great. The graphics are great. And I didn't see it in 3D. You don't have to see it in 3D. I didn't see it in 3D, and it was still great. But yeah, everything was just great. It was a great movie. It really was. And, you know, when Thor and the Hulk do leave, you know, there's that whole scene of them trying to get out. We see Valkyrie, you know, commit to coming with them. We see Loki helping them as well. There's like a band of people that's helping Thor to do different things and everything. Of course, we know Loki tries to double cross Thor, but Thor is smart. He kind of outsmarts him, and he kind of shocks him to where he can't move, and they take a ship to get off of this planet. We know we see Hulk is back to being David Banner. Lord Jesus. Banner. Yeah. I'm going crazy. Yeah. So, and it's just a great scene. We see Valkyrie, who says the reason she initially didn't want to fight was because her people were killed trying to stop Hela the first time, and she only survived because someone else knocked her off the way and died instead. And Loki brings those memories back to her, which makes her want to fight more. She's like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die killing this evil person. So, you know, again, it was a great movie. The dynamic between, you know, Thor, Valkyrie, even Loki, and with Hawk, David Banner and everything, it was a great connection. You know, the Grandmaster was also funny, very, very funny actually. And the Grandmaster was played by Jeff Goldblum. He was hilariously funny. Kate Blanchett is who played Hela. Great, great acting on her part. She was very fucking evil, absolutely, but it was beautiful. Even, you know, when she was saying to them, I am the queen, you need to kneel before me. And they're like, we don't care who you are. And she's like, did you not just hear what I said? Comic relief all through the movie. You know, things happen in the middle. I'm not going to go step by step. You know, their escape, the escape was great when they were like jumping from plane. It was a great movie. They were referencing Tony Stark because when the Hulk turns back to his regular self, how he needs clothes, and the only clothes on this ship was Tony Stark's clothes. So, you know, he's like, Tony's clothes are just so small. It was just funny. It really, really was. And again, if you have not seen the movie, I won't give away the ending of it. I won't do that at all. If you have not seen the movie, absolutely, positively go see it. It will be, you kids can go see it. You know, I'm going to take my nephew who is 11 to go see it. There are a few curse words in it, as we know all Marvel, DC movies have a bit of cussing every once in a while. But it's nothing excessive. There's nothing inappropriate that if a kid saw it, it'll be like, you know, they shouldn't see that. Kids of all ages, you know. I think at this showing, I maybe saw 6 or 7 kids. Everyone else was adults. The theater was fully packed out. There is additional scenes at the end, as everyone always knows. There's 2 additional scenes, so remember to stay to the end. Some people, for some reason, got up. I'm looking like, are y'all not fans of? Do y'all not know to not get up? So yeah, some got up before the first preview of something different. Then some got up after the first one went through, not knowing, no, there's always 2. The ending was great. It was a great movie, and I don't know how else to say it besides that. I think I would get better at these movie reviews because I think I have been rambling for 26 minutes. But again, I loved how funny the movie was. I love how good the writing on the movie was. If you're not familiar with the story, it's easy to follow along, even if you don't know. Because in the beginning, I didn't know who the character was that Thor was talking to, but they said who the character was. I just don't remember the name they used for the character, but they explain things clearly. When they bring on the sister, they explain who she is, where she's been, and why she's gone. They explain why she kind of doesn't like her father. You know what I'm saying? I like how they explain things in a good way. The new characters that they added in, we know Valkyrie was a great addition. I loved her spirit. I don't want her and Thor to become a couple at all, but I'm hoping she will be in the next one. And the other additional characters who were very, very funny. You know what I'm saying? New Dave, old Dave, I'll say that. That was a funny part of it. But yeah, amazing movie. Amazing movie. I'm going to go see Justice League when it comes out. I'm going to review that as well. Again, each review I do for these movies, I'm not giving away the end, just because even if you've seen the movie, I don't want to give away the end of it, because someone might be watching this who just didn't think to cut it off. You know, who knows? If you've seen the movie and you want to talk about the ending, you can put that in the comments. And yeah, so again, love the movie. I love where it's going to go from here. I will say that, you know, what did they say? Asgard is not a place, it's the people. I loved that saying. And they said it a couple different times in here. I love what Thor turns into in the end. I just loved the movie. I really did. And so that was my review of Thor. You know, and my reviews for movies aren't like my reviews for TV shows. My reviews for movies, and because I'm posting them before something actually comes out. You know, Thor technically doesn't come out until tomorrow, so I don't want to give endings away. I want people, because I want y'all to go see the movie. You know what I'm saying? And experience it for yourself. Take your kids to go see it. Make it a whole family night. You know, if you're adults, go out, get some drinks. You know, at our theaters here in Michigan, you know, we can drink in the theater. It's a bar at the theater. And enjoy. It was a great, great movie. It was funny. It was entertaining. It was exciting. It was exhilarating. You will laugh the whole movie. You won't cry at all. You will love, love, love every fight scene. You will love every scene with Loki and Thor. You know what I'm saying? It was a great movie. It was. So, I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my review for Thor, the new movie. It comes out tomorrow. Please check it out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can also share this video if you'd like to. And if you don't want to share it anyway. So, until next time, people. Peace. Oh, it didn't end.